Hear more, listen to the podcast. Just search for Hancock and Kelly.
So last night was the Republican presidential primary in South Carolina, and former President Donald Trump won in a landslide. He beat former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley by roughly 20 points, just under 60% for him, just under 40% for her, in her home state. Mr. Trump curiously did not mention her in his victory speech. In her speech accepting defeat, she vowed to continue her campaign with more than 20 states holding contests in the next 10 days, with Michigan being next. Is she going to get walloped there too, John?
Probably, yeah. And I think, she's done. She's still got money. She's able to travel. She's able to put ads on television. But this is Donald Trump's electorate. And we saw it again in South Carolina. I'll tell you something, though, that is a little bit of a harbinger of potential trouble for my side. The turnout in New Hampshire, Iowa, Nevada, South Carolina was lower this year than it was back in 2016. That's a problem. And now you've got a series of these exit polls that say Haley voters are now claiming, for now, that they will not support Donald Trump in the fall. Those two things are, potential real problems for the GOP.
You go back 4 years, 8 years, though, and there are multiple candidates still in it on Super Tuesday. What's the problem with staying in? I mean, there seems to be more push from the right telling her to get out. Trump wants her out.
Well, of course, Trump's putting all the pressure he can. I mean, he'd like the coronation, which, by the way, is what the Republican Party is going to do. They're going to have a coronation of him. But Nikki Haley, I think, is waiting for one of three things to happen. Number one is for the legal troubles to catch up with Donald Trump to the point where he's unable to compete. Number two, for the potential base and the money that supplies him to walk away. That's probably the least likely. Or number three, this aging man to have some health issues. He's not the picture of health. And she'd like to be the person in waiting. And I think she's trying to hold that ground as long as she can in the hopes that one of those other three things may happen.
Missouri's Republican Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft, who's a leading candidate for Missouri governor, is creating quite a stir with his comments about military veterans. During a panel for gubernatorial candidates at the annual Missouri Republican Party Lincoln Days in Kansas City over last weekend, Ashcroft was asked how the state can better support veterans and active duty military personnel. During the candidates forum at the GOP Lincoln Days, he was asked, should the state do better to support veterans? He said in response, and I'm quoting here, I don't think we ought to say if you're in the military, we'll give you this discount, but everybody else has to pay twice as much. I don't think that's good government. I appreciate veterans, but what we ought to do is say if it's good for veterans, it's good to do it for everyone. Michael, Democrats and fellow Republicans are hammering about these comments. How damaging is this?
Very damaging. I mean, talk about an apple that rolled a long way from the tree. John Ashcroft is this guy's dad. He was Mr. Wrap Yourself in Flag, stand up for the military. Now, part of Jay Ashcroft's problems may be jealousy because he was kicked out of the Merchant Marines. I mean, so he probably doesn't think there ought to be special classifications for our veterans. I don't know how anybody running for office, particularly governor, can make the case that they have the best interest when they treat our veterans this way. I mean, is this the Republican Party of Ronald Reagan? Not even a Democrat would act like this. Jay Ashcroft, pay attention, you Republicans out there. This guy's a nut.
Is there any way to walk it back, do some damage control?
Maybe. And I should disclose I'm working for a PAC that is supporting Mike Kehoe for governor. He's the lieutenant governor.
Right.
I think if you look at the principle that Jay Ashcroft is articulating, it's a sound principle. We treat people the same and things like that. The politics of it, as it relates to veterans, is, shall we say, not good. And, there's a whole lot of veterans in this state. Missouri has a large, particularly down in the southwest part of the base of the Republican Party, full of veterans down there. So the politics of that rhetoric probably not so helpful for Jay Ashcroft.
From a political standpoint, though, Andy, the thing people should take away is that this is not John Ashcroft. This is Jay Ashcroft, and there is a vast difference in a lot of issues here.
Still to come on Hancock and Kelly, are frozen embryos stored at fertility clinics human children? Also, is calling someone a thug racist? Our quote of the week comes from the mayor of Kansas City.